All right, it's Friday, Tech Tip Happy Hour, and this week we're going to talk about how to choose a PC. So there's three main factors that we talk about when you're trying to pick a PC, and that is the chassis, the specifications or features, and obviously cost. So first we talk about chassis. So obviously computers nowadays come in a bunch of different sizes. We have kind of a mini or a tiny PC here. We have your traditional desktop PC. Have different variations of a laptop. You may have a laptop with a touch screen, a 14-inch screen, a 13-inch screen, or even one that has just a detachable screen. And you may have different colors or different body materials. This one here, can be made out of aluminum or titanium, depending on, which version you like. They also come in different colors, obviously, silver, black. So there's all kinds of different chassis choices. When we talk about the features of the PC, it may be that one has a touch screen or a certain type of resolution on the screen that you prefer, or even a graphics card inside the machine to better do the graphics. So we talk about the specifications. We talk about three main things. We have your CPU, your RAM or your memory, and then obviously hard drive space. So your CPU, if you're talking about Intel, is usually i3, i5, i7, i9. Obviously getting better as the number gets higher. AMD's number scheme works pretty much the same, 3, 5, 7, and on up. And also number of cores. So you may have 2 cores, 4 cores, 6 cores, 12 cores, and it goes on and on and on. 64, 128. Obviously more cores is faster processing. For a standard PC, office worker, typically nowadays we usually recommend an i5 CPU, which is kind of in the middle of the road as far as the CPUs go. As far as memory goes, it typically comes in 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Obviously, higher number is better. For your typical office worker right now, we usually recommend anywhere between 8 and 32 gigs of memory, depending on exactly what that person's job title is and what they need to perform on their PC. The third specification that we talk about is hard drive space. This is obviously becoming less of a factor nowadays that so much of our data and our pictures and everything is stored in the cloud. We need less storage on our individual devices. But you want to make sure you're definitely getting a SSD drive, which is solid state storage, which is much faster, easier to get your data out in a quick manner, and they're much more reliable than these old standard drives that actually have a spinning disk in them, which is what your standard hard drives used to be prior to 4 or 5 years ago. But as far as size goes, maybe 128 gig, 256, 512, and if you don't have a lot of stuff, buying a larger drive for really no reason doesn't really provide you too much benefit. Typically for your office worker today, depending on what they actually store on their PC, most of the computers we recommend now have a 256 gig SSD drive, which is perfectly fine for what most people do day to day. And then the last one obviously is cost. So depending on the features, the specifications, and the needs, obviously that cost ranges. Right now PCs are running a little bit more expensive than normal just because of supply shortages. But you always want to compare your options. We usually recommend, we're a Lenovo partner, but we usually recommend that our clients stick to either Lenovo, HP, or Dell, or one of the well-known PC manufacturers instead of buying an off-brand machine or something from built in somebody's basement. And today's drink that we're going to make is called the Ice Pick, since we're talking about picking computers. So this is a pretty basic drink. Going to start with 2 ounces of iced tea here, and then we're going to have 2 ounces of vodka. We're using some PA vodka here. And then you're going to mix this up. Put a lot of ice in there, and then just top it off with a little lemon juice. And that's our ice pick right there. Oh, that's good. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend. And again, when you're looking to pick out your new PC, make sure that you always consult your IT professional to make sure that you're picking the right hardware for what you're looking to do. And thank you guys and have a great weekend.